This is KUGAN CASSIUS for IFL TV in a... What are you doing?
Your lens is dirty. Go on.
Maybe your soul's dirty. What are you doing?
I want people to see what I can see.
Yeah, but you're not doing anything with it. It's just on, like...
Can't you see you?
KUGAN CASSIUS IFL TV.
Start again. Could you see you when I did that?
Yeah, I'm starting again.
You are starting again.
I'm not.
Start again.
I'm not starting again.
Okay.
KUGAN.
You will.
Why?
Otherwise I'm going to say something that you're going to have to start again.
No, go on then. I'll call you bluff. KUGAN CASSIUS IFL TV. MTK Global. Come on! Just...
Can't you work under distraction?
No. How are you, Adam?
Yeah, I'm okay. How are you?
You look very well. Glowing.
You sound like you
look like
meant that.
a pregnant woman, but not a pregnant woman, like the glowing part of a pregnant woman. You look very glowing.
Are you getting a bit fattest
No.
now that you're in your super honed and toned body? Huh? Now you're in your new construct of physical presence.
Not
should we
yet.
talk about, okay.
You can talk about it, but...
Should we unveil you, or should we keep you wrapped up? We'll keep you wrapped up.
Wrapped up until I'm ready to go.
Okay.
Yeah, how are you?
Good.
In Newcastle today. Why are you here?
See my friend and have a chat with Eddie.
Okay. Straight to the point. A big few months coming up for you. You've literally got back-to-back shows from almost, what, in a couple of weeks?
Yeah, I feel like Joe Gallagher.
Yeah, he's had back-to-back shows from Saudi Arabia to Chicago to Newcastle, so yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, run me through. Who you
Michael
got?
Conlon next Saturday in Vegas. Then Ryan Burnett November 3rd in Glasgow against Donaire. Josh Kelly on November 10th. Then Michael Conlon again December 8th in New York. And then Josh Kelly again in New York, December 15th. And then there is talk of Michael going out again in December before Christmas.
Possibly on the Rocky Fielding card?
Michael Conlon?
Yeah.
No.
No?
I don't think Michael Conlon's with Top Rank, isn't he?
Of course. What show have they got then?
Speak to Top Rank.
Okay. Oh yeah. Yeah, well, obviously we were discussing Josh Kelly's potential opponent on the 10th of November. Can you kind of give any indication?
No, I won't give his name yet, just because the last one that we thought it was going to be, who's a three-weight world.
Who was that? You can say that if it's not going to be.
No, I'm not going to say that. He just started asking for hundreds of thousands of pounds for a 10-rounder against a 7-fight novice. So I'm not going to talk about him. The one we're talking about for November 10th, who last night, my understanding was Eddie was going to try and close the deal, is former world champion as well.
Okay. Whisper that other name to me. Like, I'll turn the camera that way. Oh. Wanted too much money, did he?
Apparently so. Allegedly.
Okay. Yeah, you got.
Eddie's going to encounter that though, isn't he? Because if he's walking around sort of showing off the big $1 billion DAZN deal, there's going to be a lot of fighters and managers looking at him thinking, right, I'm going to ask for a piece of that then.
But that might be only applicable to the US market. Yeah? Okay.
Possibly, yeah.
Yeah. Ryan Burnett. Yeah, huge fight for him coming up. 3rd of November in Glasgow against Donaire. How's Ryan? How's everything regarding that?
Ryan's good. He's in pain. He's resting this weekend. But he's in a good place with 2 more weeks of training to go.
Where obviously the tournament started last week for the World Boxing Super Series new season. We impressed. Obviously, you were impressed with Inoue.
Of course, anyone that sets up a first round knockout like that and delivers it has put in an impressive performance. He showed what he is, very powerful, springs in very powerfully with his legs. I saw a little clip of him warming up in the change room where he specifically worked that drill. So it's something that they saw beforehand with Payano to come to slide in under his jab, and he executed it perfectly. And if you if you stand still, or if you're predictable, or if you can be set up like that at that level against that level of puncher, then you can expect to get slept in the first round. We've
literally got the best in the weight competing in that tournament.
I think so. I think the bantamweight tournament's the most competitive that the Super Series has done yet. World Boxing Super Series has done yet. There is no easy fights there.
You can't really avoid anyone, can you?
No, and that's what. The reason why Ryan chose Donaire is that he looked at who was available from the picks, because there was one mandatory and then 3 non-seeds. And of what was available, he wanted Donaire because he knows Donaire's the best of the 3 of them. And in true Ryan Burnett fashion, he wanted to test himself as hard and as fast as possible.
Yeah, those fights could be matched up very quickly, but we've got Tete in action this weekend. Tonight, yeah. So, yeah, but definitely, like I said, the best in the weight are all in that tournament.
The fella that Tete's fighting only had 4 professional fights. He's the guy that had the medal taken off him in the Olympics, wasn't he, for failing the dope test. But, having said that, he's got to go to Russia to fight a Russian, and that in itself is a big challenge. So that makes up for the challenge of the fella having a lack of experience.
Michael Conlon, so if you have your way, he'll be out twice before the year's out?
Well, that's the plan. That's the plan, at least twice before Christmas. But he's ready now. We've done a lot of work since we've started working together. And like anything, it takes time for things to start settling in. But there are some essential elements now that we identified right from day one when we started working together that have now fallen into place really nicely. And once he starts understanding and feeling and repeating these little improvements, all of his amateur experience starts to magnify how quickly he can use them. So I do expect to be having conversations in the next month or 2 about Michael having a significant step up for, if not this year, the early part of next year.
You've got Lucian Reed in action next week.
Yes, yeah.
On the 20th in Brentwood.
Yes.
Trying to run through your other fighters. Who you have?
Harlem Eubank.
Harlem Eubank. He's in action this week?
No, that's next week? Cancelled, but the plan is now that I'm going to get him out twice before Christmas.
Okay.
Another fighter that's shown a lot of improvements. We've been doing a lot of work in the gym over the last few months, but not a lot of fights. And now all of a sudden the fights are coming up. It's time for the boys to start expressing what they've developed in the gym under the spotlights, and so it gets real and it gets more satisfying now.
Are you happy with your squad?
Squad.
Yeah, it's your squad.
Like Alf Ramsey. I'm happy. I'm very happy. I'm very happy with the young men that they are, the work that we do together, and also just who they are as fellas. Everyone gets on really well. There's a great chemistry and energy in the gym. And when you go to work, no matter what you do, if you go to work and you're feeling a happy, positive vibe, and everyone is respectful of each other and everyone does what they're supposed to do, but outside of that has fun and interacts really well, it makes for a really satisfying work environment. And I think that is what has pieced itself together for me at this moment in time for me.
Are you looking to recruit anymore?
Well, you looking to sign up?
I haven't got a look to sign up.
It's a bit arrogant.
No, I haven't got a look to sign up.
Oh, because you don't want to?
No.
Everyone wants you.
No, let's go with the first one. Yeah, the arrogant one. No, if I wanted to join you, I probably could.
Okay.
No, but that's
I've
down
got
to
no sparring for you in my gym, though.
No, I know. So it'd have to be you because you're the nearest to the weight.
Okay.
Hang on. You ain't still got towers, have you? No, because I don't want none of the towers. I want to ask you about one fight that already happened and one fight that possibly could happen. First one, DeGALE Eubank, allegedly being made for the 8th of December.
Mm-hmm.
Good fight?
Very good fight. 2 big names in British boxing. That's what we like. James is vacated, right?
Correct.
Vacated the IBF.
Correct.
It's a good fight. There's going to be need, or there's a story behind it.
There is a story behind it.
You want big name fighters with a story behind them matching themselves up. And it's just another fight. It's a classic example of the state of British boxing at the moment, and the way it's been profiled and what the fighters have been doing in terms of achieving success and following old journeys. along with the business being so, I mean, I think no one could have predicted that British boxing would be this big now. It's just another part of that jigsaw.
Both fighters have suffered significant defeats over the last year. Eubank obviously to George Groves, and James when he originally lost his IBF title to Caleb Truex. So where does the loser of this fight, what kind of position would it put them in? Because they're quite...
I don't know. I don't like. If I'm honest, I don't like. This is not. I'm not digging you out here. I've promised you that I'm going to be nice to you today. I don't like that question, and the reason why I don't like that question, it's not your question. It's a question that always gets asked. Just enjoy the damn fights when they're there. Don't start pontificating. Oh, well, if he loses, where's he going to go? Because just sit down and enjoy the fight. I'm off my soapbox now.
Sorry. So, yeah, what I was saying is, where does the loser of the fight go?
Are you asking the same question again?
I know, because you didn't answer it.
Because I'm not going to answer it. It's a stupid question.
We are going to enjoy the fight, obviously. That's a given. We're not going to... It doesn't need to be clarified.
Okay, let's go through every possible scenario. What if someone loses a split decision? What if someone gets chinned in the first round? What if someone loses on disqualification? What if there's a clash of heads and someone can't continue before 3 rounds, so it goes to a technical draw? You really want to ask that question, ask it specifically for each possible eventuality of somebody not winning the fight.
Oh, do you want to do this?
No, because it'll bore the shit out of me. I'm not doing that. But you get my point, right? Just enjoy the fight. And then after the fight, if somebody loses, because it might be a draw, and you really want to know what I think that loser is going to now do with his career, then I'll answer the question.
Okay.
But you won't, because you don't care. You're just pretending to care about wanting the answer to that question. Frank, don't go. I'm going to pull you in on this.
What, about the acorns?
All right. No, I'm not pulling you in.
But it's a far more interesting question rather than where does the winner go.
What you're saying is, this super middleweight matchup between James DeGale and Chris Eubank Jr., the most interesting question you can think of.
I didn't say that.
You did.
I didn't say it was the most interesting
question is, where do I think the loser will go home, lick his wounds, and then decide what he's going to do with the rest of his career?
God. Someone's not had their Weetabix this morning.
No, I had a coffee. It got me a bad time.
All right. Are they in somewhat at similar positions in their career? Kind of. I say that because James has already obviously won a world title.
No, I don't think they're at similar positions. I think James is further down the line.
You believe that? That's interesting.
No, that's what I think.
Okay.
It's not a belief. I don't sit there and repeat it.
It's the same thing. It's what you believe.
I think, because I can't say that I've given this a lot of thought. I'm actually only giving it the 3 seconds thought between you asking me the question and you giving me answering it. I think instinctively that James is probably further down his career path than Eubank Jr.
Okay. All right. Awkward fuck you are sometimes. Some things never change.
Giggling background. I want to know what they're laughing at. You know what I mean?
They're probably laughing at
this whole dynamic.
Possibly.
Oh no, they're watching porn.
What are they doing there? Okay, moving on from that then, because that fight hasn't even been announced. It may not even happen, so this could be all irrelevant.
So let's move on from the line of questioning that you just...
All right, what did you make of Callum Smith's win against Groves? Were you surprised?
Was I surprised? No, I wasn't surprised. I thought Callum boxed in a very mature, accomplished manner in the biggest step of his life, because it was his chance to prove to himself, not just to everyone else, that he could rise to that occasion, beat a big name champion when a lot of people favoured him to lose, and he went about his job in a very professional manner.
And George?
What about it?
What did you make of his performance, and what do you think that George should do now?
I thought Callum was the one that looked more comfortable during the fight. I thought George was a bit uncomfortable with his movements. He was expending quite a lot of energy, loading up with the right hand, and was kind of freezing behind his guard when he was defending. And I think once Callum settled into it, Callum was putting pressure on without making any mistakes. He was using his size and his posture to keep that pressure in front. He knew that the big heavy jab was coming out, and he knew that the right hand bombs were going to follow it. And I thought he stayed very composed under that.
Where does George go now, in your opinion?
Probably can walk away having achieved what he wanted with enough money in the bank that he's got the security that he ever needs for his family, with his health intact. I think that's probably what he should do.
Do you think he will do that though?
Yeah, I do. Yeah, I think he will. You got to remember, like there was the fight with Edward Guknecht. Nobody talks about that situation.
No, true, very true.
But that man's life's changed forever, and everyone, there was all this virtual signalling over social media of sympathy towards that situation, but no one talks to him anymore now. But you can bet your bottom dollar that scenario hasn't left George Groves' mind. He's well aware of the dangers that this sport can throw at you, because he's been made aware of it in probably the worst of scenarios. And carrying that with the success and the money in the bank, I think it would be a smart decision to walk away happy.
I do want to ask you about Billy Joe Saunders. The whole situation seems like it was a bit of a mess, the way it was handled.
By whom? By whom?
By the Massachusetts Commission, or not? Am I wrong in saying that?
I don't know.
Well, the reason I say that is because
they just voted not to give him a license, right?
Yeah.
Based on a failed dope test. The dope test was failed by VADA.
Correct.
Right. Now,
did they not follow protocol from WADA?
Who followed?
The Massachusetts Commission.
VADA or WADA?
WADA.
I have no idea.
That's what I was led to believe.
I hear that VADA were the testing agency for that fight. Is that right?
Correct.
And he had a chemical in his system that is banned on VADA's list. For
in-competition use.
Well, there's a grey area there, because what is in competition?
Right, yeah, okay.
It's not just 36 minutes when you're in the ring, and it shouldn't be. I had a chat with Eddie about it actually a couple of days ago, and he made the point, and I completely agree, that it's either banned or it's not banned. If it's banned, it's banned, and you can't use it at all. If it's not banned, then it's not. In and out competition, because at what point are you in competition for a fight?
Yeah, have you got to declare yourself right?
Well, here's the question. Who knows at what point are you in competition for a fight? No.
What if you don't train for the fight and you just... There you go. Right. So, yeah, the grey area stands where UCAD and the board were okay with it, even though really, is it fair to say that they don't have any say on the situation, or they don't really have anything to do with the situation? Because
my opinion on this is that the whole system needs overhauling. I think the system doesn't work. Everyone is passing off responsibility left, right and centre, and then finally it's whoever pees in the pot or has their blood taken, if it's negative for whatever reason, whether it's food they've eaten, medication they've taken, or genuine cheating, taking drugs for performance enhancement, they're the ones that say shame on you, and there's this wave of activity pointing at them, and then it will die down and someone else will do it, and they'll end up carrying on with their career again. What's on the list of banned substances, how you go about checking it, how you check what's in the food you eat, should something be banned, should something not be banned, what's a performance enhancing chemical, does it occur naturally, is it artificial, should it be just anabolic stuff, should it be stimulants, things to help with weight loss. There's so many. Is marijuana on the banned list? There's a question for you, because I'm pretty sure I've seen marijuana or cannabis on a banned list. Now you give me a fighter who can benefit from being stoned when he's in the ring.
What about cocaine? Because David Benavidez recently.
Well, it's not a naturally occurring substance, is it? What about protein? It's a naturally occurring substance. Certainly helps you train. Certainly helps you in performance. What about carbohydrates? But it's just such a grey area. Now, when a fighter signs a contract, they say, well, you should know who your testing agency is. And if you know who your testing agency is, you know everything that's on their banned list, or you check it, Is it VADA? Is it WADA? Is it UCAD? It's just, for me, it's just not cohesive enough, and I think the governing bodies need to take responsibility for that.
So just going back to what you originally said to me about...
The sporting governing bodies need to take responsibility for that.
What you originally said to me about when I said the situation seems a bit of a mess, and you said on whose behalf, and I said the commission. Because if they do adhere to WADA's code...
WADA or VADA?
W.
Massachusetts.
Yeah.
Right.
Adhere to that code.
Right. But they've suspended him based on a VADA test.
Correct.
Then they're just as incompetent as a lot of other nonsense going on in this situation.
Right. But there is something there, obviously. If they follow one code, but they're taking, or
that's only one part of the story, though, isn't it? That's only one part of it.
Of course.
Do you eat chicken?
Correct.
Do you eat chicken in any famous chicken takeaways or restaurants? Right, you go in there. What chemicals are in that chicken?
I wouldn't know.
No, but you eat it.
No. Yeah. But who knows whatever's in anything they take?
Exactly. Take or eat?
Take, eat. A lot of supplements that people take, and there's a lot of new stuff that get added to the
trust.
list.
That we put our trust in a label a lot, don't we? We put our trust in what we're told. Put our trust in it. You look at the back of it. That's the ingredients. Fine. Then that's okay for me. How do you know what's on that label is what's in it?
So how familiar are you with what not to take and what's on the list?
My belief has always been, if you mess with nature, it will mess with you. Strip things down to basics and then natural scenario. Eat a food in the format that occurs in nature.
You can't go wrong.
Who knows now? But I think you're safer to do it that way than if you have processed or manufactured or artificially created foods. I think you're safer.
Are you alerted on like UCAD's ban list when things get added?
Nope.
Okay. I think we've spoken about this before, actually, haven't we? So it's down to you.
It's my responsibility to keep checking everything on UCAD's, along with everything else that we have to do in life, like keeping receipts for everything we buy, keeping the boxes for the things that we buy, otherwise you can't get a refund if it goes forward. All this other stuff. You've got to have a whole plot of land just for your receipts and your boxes of stuff you buy. But on top of that, you've got to go and do your working day, raise your family, get your sleep, and also keep checking this list because they keep slingshotting another chemical onto the banned list.
How should that Billy Joe Saunders situation have been handled, in your opinion?
I'm not. My sort of energetic spouting is more to do with the fact that the whole, from the top down, the whole drug testing protocol involving the governing bodies of the sports needs to be tightened up. The food chain of information, of responsibility, of making fighters, coaches, managers aware, I think needs to improve.
Should it be one set of rules across every governing body?
We live in a capitalist society and there's different companies that have got a vested interest in having their own organisations making money from doing testing and running that business. So I don't think that we can have one company doing it all because we live in a capitalist world, right? But I think your questions and any questions regarding the structure of dope testing probably need to be very specific and tailored and aimed towards the governing bodies and what are the governing bodies going to do to try and help tidy up this mess rather than just saying, but it's their responsibility.
Because if that fight was happening in the UK, this would never have been an issue, would it? If Billy Joe Saunders had UCAD testing...
If the chemical that he had in his system isn't banned by UCAD...
Which it's not, or they deem in competition to be on the night of the fight.
Right. If they were the rules, then no. But that wasn't the territory that the fight was...
No, correct. Yeah, no, correct.
Here's an interesting question. What if the fight got moved to the UK?
Because the board didn't have a problem with it, did they?
I don't know.
Well, from a Frank Warren statement, they said that.
I mean, there's no definitive answers to the line of questioning, right? There aren't, because it's a fucking mess. And until the people in positions of power and governance actually take responsibility for this whole situation, it's not going to change. But then no one cares anyway, because tomorrow is tomorrow's chip paper, this news. And time rolls on, life rolls on, and it's someone next time round. And I do think that there are times when fighters put their trust in others and get let down as well. There are fighters who do know what they're doing. There will be people that fail dope tests without meaning to, and people that fail them trying to get away with it. And I've heard a lot of occasions, people in significant positions saying the only ones that get caught are the ones that are stupid, because it's very easy to get away with it. And that attitude is quite rife in a lot of sports at quite a high level. So it's always going to be here, and the whole system needs tidying up.
Okay, I did ask for 10 minutes. 49. No, it's not really. It's 26. It's 26. Alright, just one little final thought from you. Fury Wilder. That fight interest you?
How can it not?
How can it not?
If you like boxing and you've got two of the biggest.
Almost names. A rhetorical question.
Yeah, it does.
Back Fury's case for me. How does he win? Will he win?
How does Tyson win that fight? There's got to be certainly in the first half of the fight. Certainly there, I think he's got to be mobile and elusive.
And stay away from wild swings.
Yeah, but he also does throw. Wilder does swing wildly, but he can also punch hard and straight as well. I've seen it.
You've had him in camp?
A few times, yeah. I've also seen it in his fights. He doesn't just swing wild and recklessly, he does drill them quite straight as well.
Tyson have done with 2, maybe 1 more fight going into this?
Probably ideally over the last couple of years he could have done with being the active champion that he was and with holding the belts, but that's not the situation. But it's still a huge story and a big fight.
Who's your pick?
Don't know. I haven't really thought about it. Deontay's been out for a while as well, hasn't he?
Since March?
No, before that, wasn't he out for a while? He had a bad hand or something. Didn't he have surgery?
Yeah.
He had a period of inactivity as well. Don't know. Come back and ask me closer to the fight. I'll flip-flop until then.
Got a few things to ask you in a few months, haven't I? Alright. We can go and watch the boxing now. You got anything else you'd like to add?
No, thank you. It's nice chatting. No, it wasn't really a conversation, but
yeah.
Have you got anything you'd like to add?
Oh, never been asked that before. No?
And when are you unveiling your new...
When it's ready.
Physique?
When it's ready.
How long do you think?
Some point next year.
How long's it been?
3 months.
Okay.
Some point next year. Adam Booth, thank you very much for talking to IFL TV. Hope you have a wonderful night. I'll speak to you soon.
Go on.
What do we do?
What are you doing? You're doing something with your hand. What's that?
Yeah.